The trade deadline is literally 7 hours away, and us Yankee fans are waiting for Brian Cashman to answer and ring the alarm. Captain, I can't take it anymore, Captain. Oh, what's crazy is that my video is not here to play. Here it is.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox. Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, Learn Day, July 31st. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my compadre this morning. We got the lovely Grace Monroe. Grace, how you feeling today, Grace?
If you'll notice, I am dressed for October, baby, because that's where we're headed. Okay, and I'm gonna have to
Grace, I'm sorry. Grace, there's breaking news, Grace. Breaking news. Breaking news, Grace. I gotta bring up Ace for this one. We got Ace in the building, the Ace Avenue. We got breaking news. Ace, you can say it since you texted it to me. So Ace, go ahead. Let Grace know the news that's going to break her heart.
All right, as reported by Jeff Passons, literally a minute ago, the San Diego Padres are acquiring closer Mason Miller from the A's in exchange for starter J.P. Sears and some other players.
So the Yankees, when trading for Frankie Montas and sending J.P. Sears, we just gave them Mason Miller and J.P. Sears, San Diego.
Yeah, the A's are also receiving shortstop Leo Dallas de Veras, the number 3 prospect in baseball, along with 3 pitchers from San Diego for Mason Miller and J.P. Sears.
So 5 players?
5 prospects?
It looks like shortstop and 3 pitchers. So 4 players to San Diego for Mason Miller and J.P. Sears. The only prospect that has been named so far is the number 3 overall prospect from the A's. Like in all of baseball, not in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't got nobody that's way up there.
Yeah, and that's the shortstop, the international shortstop that they just signed over this winter. So that's a hefty price to pay for Mason Miller, a young closer with controllable years, top stuff. And honestly, I think the writing was on the wall. Because last night, while doing my stuff at the stadium, somebody mentioned Mason Miller. Do you know the last time he pitched?
Saturday.
The A's were holding off. Like, we're not going to put you out there. We're not going to risk an injury. We're going to try to capitalize. And the Sacramento Athletics traded Mason Miller to the San Diego Padres, and it sets it up perfectly because Brian Cashman, you are on the clock, my friend. Grace, how you feeling this morning? And
okay, when you said that it was going to break my heart, I was expecting you to tell me that Jason Dominguez was traded. And so I'm feeling fine. I'm just fine, y'all. We couldn't have matched that package without trading George Lombard Jr. So there's no way that's fine. If the Padres wanted to pay all that, whatever. Like,
let's shout out the chat before we continue. We got over 80 people in the building rocking out with us. My man Jacob Petruzzi, how you doing? We got Rico Pavon in the building. Rico Pavon TV. The boss has to be pissed off in heaven. It's not even funny. Shout out to Rico Pavon in the building. The Bronx Signal podcast is here, folks. If you guys know, as Yankee content creators and people in this community, we like to promote and uplift other Yankee content creators. So guys, make sure you guys go and follow the Bronx Bat Signal podcast. And also, whatever you guys want to have me and Grace on, send the bat signal like you got the Bat Signal podcast, and we will be there to join the conversation. Shout out to our good friend Tina, one of the best moderators that are out there in the interweb. Shout out to you, Tina. I appreciate you. We got D's channel Soprano in the building. D, how you doing? El Delulu, Yankee fan, is in the building. Mason Miller to the Padres. Where the hell is Cash? Bro, Cashman is on the clock. Shout out to my guy Ghost, who is in the building. El Consigliere Joe is here. Nathaniel Crenshaw, the only Dodger fan that we acknowledge is my man Nate. How you doing? We got Big Ant NYC. We got Miguel in the building. Miguel, how you doing? Desiree Conrad, I hope all is well. I will get friend Erica Garcia. Big Ant is in the building. Li Yankee King, Froggy Fresh, Harrison. All right, enough with the shout outs. We got to jump into the conversation. JB Barr, how you doing? Grace, instant reaction and then kick it over to Ace.
Y'all, like I said, we wouldn't have been able to put together a package to get Mason Miller without including George Lombard Jr. if the prospect package that Ace just laid out from the Padres would have been comparable for the Yankees. So if you want to keep George Lombard Jr., which I think we all do, Cashman couldn't have made it work. Even if he wrapped up Spencer Jones just cracked the MLB Top 100 list last week. So before that, he wasn't even on the top 100. And as of right now, he's number 98. So if you say, oh, well, we'll offer you Spencer Jones, we'll offer you, Hess, we'll offer you whoever, it's not going to compare to the number 3 overall prospect in baseball, plus an MLB level pitcher, which is what JP Sears has been, right? Yeah. So, we wouldn't have been able to swing it. That's fine. There's still closers out there. I'm looking at David Bednar. I'm looking at a couple other possibilities that are still on the board. I asked AI last night. I did. I was like, out of the available players, who should the Yankees get? And I have the answer, y'all. So stay tuned. I've got the answers. Also, I want to address Erica's comment in the chat. It is hot as hell in Texas, okay? But I'm wearing this because I'm in character for October. Now, I told Hector already, I'm going to have to be peeling off some layers. But damn it, at the top of the show, I am in character. Let's go.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, Grace does have central air conditioner, right? So she has aire condicionado over there in Texas. My man Ace, how you feeling, brother? Good morning, and thank you. Yo, bro, when I got that text message, I was like, wait, what just happened? Did something happen with Ace or whatever? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me on, as always. Happy trade deadline day. And I hope Cashman got the notification that today is the day, because after yesterday, a lot of trades are going down, a lot of relievers. Now, we did make a couple of moves early for position players, which is the same thing that we always do, seems to be every year. But we need relief pitching in the worst way because our bullpen is terrible. And unfortunately, as Yankees, it's going to cost us top talent to be able to get somebody. Do I have faith in Brian Cashman will make the necessary moves? Keep in mind, he came out and said, this is a go-to-town deadline. He didn't have to come out and say that, but he came out and said it. So now you put that extra pressure on your back. So when you get top relievers that are going left and right, Yankee fans are sitting here like, what are we doing? Stop sitting on your hands. Get it going. But I just ultimately feel like this is going to be, and I've been saying this since yesterday, Clarence Cashman. I think we're going to end up going on the bottom barrel of the bin for the bullpen, and we'll ultimately see what happens. Also, I also like that cowboy hat that you have in the background. I wonder who that's for.
Hey, shout out to the bestie Grace Monroe, because you guys have been anticipated for it. I got the cowboy hat from the Yankee game yesterday. Like, I literally sat in the press box the entire game. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss this hat, because if I miss this hat, I'm not gonna hear it. I'm not gonna hear the end of it from Grace Monroe. It was to the point that I didn't even go get more food. Normally, I like to get a couple chicken sandwiches and take them with me. I didn't even get more food. All right,
that's
Grace,
a bestie for you right there.
That's
Grace
a bestie for you.
Grace and I were joking yesterday in the stream, because she popped in, and I appreciate you, Grace. She was saying, if Hector don't get this hat, it's gonna be hell to pay. And we were joking, saying that you should have acted like you didn't get the hat and then popped on the show with it, with your good morning, and then have the cowboy hat on and got her live reaction. That was hilarious.
I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that to Grace, but I do have a video to show you guys. Right before we jump deeper into the free agent, into the trade conversations, MLB trade deadline, guys, we got over 130 people in the building rocking with us. We love all of you beautiful people. If you guys can, click that link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube and click that like button, click that subscribe button on YouTube. Grace, we're sitting at 5,610 subscribers. So we appreciate all the new subscribers, everybody for joining us, helping us grow. Make sure you guys go and follow my man, the Ace Avenue as well. Jacob, if you can, drop Ace's link to his channel in the chat as well. If any moderators out there, if you guys can. So I'm gonna play this video real quick because I told you guys that I was throwing out the first pitch at the Somerset Patriot game. So I got the video. You guys got to let me know if it's a strike or not, all right? You heard him scream strike, right? You heard him say strike, right? You know, so I got a strike. You know, I got a strike. I'm happy. I'm happy about it. You know, I didn't embarrass you, Grace. How did I do?
Dude, I haven't seen that angle. I only saw the one that Alex did that you sent me. And
No. That angle that you just saw was Alex. That was a different angle I sent you.
Oh, okay. Well, the first angle that you sent me, I couldn't see the plate. So it looked like a high strike, but that was right over the middle. That's a home run of Giancarlo Stanton's at bat. You know what I mean?
You don't got to say all that.
Stanton taking it deep, bro. Hey, yo.
So we got our guests backstage. I sent out the bat signal, right? Because it's the MLB trade deadline special day, right? So I had to send out the bat signal to a good friend of mine, somebody that's been very supportive of Uptown Sports TV, Yankees Morning Brew, myself, and Grace Monroe as well. My good friend Dexter Henry. Dexter, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you are ready to rock out with us. This is our guy, Dexter Henry from the New York Post. Dex, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. A little tired, as I know all you are. What's up, Hector? What's up, Grace? What's up, Ace? I know everybody is tired of waiting on see if these deals are going to go down. Hector, you'll be on with me on a trade deadline show later.
Yes.
So yeah, man, I'm good. Just trying to follow all the news, but I'm good. How's everybody doing?
All is good. I think Yankee fans are waiting for Brian Cashman to let us know what we're doing because the New York Mets, if you guys didn't know, Dexter is a Met fan, and the New York Mets probably put together one of the best bullpens that they put together in a long, long time. I know they gave up some pieces. Some Met fans are 50-50 on it. Dex, I want to get your take real quick before we talk anything Yankees about what the Mets did yesterday.
Yo, I like what the Mets did yesterday. So here's my thing, and I talked about a little bit. I did a video on the Tyler Rogers trade once it went down. Look, prospects are prospects. This is what I say all the time. And I think some people like to prospect hug and they want to keep everybody. Was the price for Rogers a little steep? Yes. I thought they would have been able to get the deal done without. I think the thing people are going to realize for me is it's not about the prospects. It wasn't about Gilbert or Tidwell. For me, it was like, could you keep Jose Butto, who I liked as a major league arm here? But the market is what the market is. That's generally what I'll say. And the price for relievers, if you looked at what's been going on the last couple of days, the price has been high. The Phillies just gave up 2 top 6 prospects, right, to get a closer. So I don't have a problem with what the Mets did. I think when you have a chance to go for it like the Mets, they got a chance to win the division. They have not won a division in 10 years. They have only been back-to-back to the playoffs in a couple of years in their existence. You got to go for it. And David Stearns was going to get criticized if he didn't do much. People already call him small market Stearns. He had to go for it. And I think you have to. The Mets starting pitching is not great. They're not getting a lot of length out of that starting pitching. So you have to try to shorten these games and try to have a strong bullpen. I liked going for it. Look, could Drew Gilbert be the next great center fielder? Maybe. You're right. Blake Tidwell was projected to be more of a bullpen arm anyway. They didn't give up Nolan McLean. They didn't give up Jonah Tong. They didn't give up Brandon Sproat. They kept their top 3 pitching prospects. The Mets organization has some outfielders that they thought are higher, in this situation. In the other deal, they give up Baez, who, had been dropping, and there was no path for him to play in terms of at shortstop with Francisco Lindor being here. So I'm fine with the Mets moves. You can't keep all these prospects. Everybody wants to do that. And if you look at the Yankees or the Mets, my colleague Joel Sherman says this, and he's 100% right about this. In the last 10 years, who's the prospect that's come up for the Yankees and Mets that they gave away that you're like, now the Mets fans will say Pete Crow Armstrong. Okay, that's one. But look at the Yankees. The Yankees had the baby bombers. No, any of them have hit except for Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the one, and Aaron Judge is a generational talent. So I don't think there's any prospect out there that the Yankees held on to or gave up that the fans are missing right now, right? I'd ask any of you guys, who's the one where you're like, man, like we wish we kept that guy. It's hard. Baseball's hard, and it's hard to hit on prospects and for prospects to make it. So if you have a chance to upgrade your team, you got to go for it. You can't hold on to the prospect. And listen, the Yankees are going to have that for them right now when it comes to Spencer Jones. Are you going to move him for somebody that can impact your team this year and help you try to win this division? Because I don't believe, and I know the Blue Jays made an addition this morning. I don't believe the Blue Jays are leaps and bounds better than the Yankees.
Yeah,
I'm not a believer in that. I think if the Yankees get this to, they're within 3 games by the end. We got a whole month to go.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in striking distance by the end of August, going to September, is it 3 or 2 games? The pressure's on the Blue Jays. Does anybody trust the Blue Jays to lock it down and win the division? I don't.
I like to take a pragmatic approach to the situation, Dex, because when you look at it, the Toronto Blue Jays, they have the best record in all of Major League Baseball, and the Yankees are still 4 games behind them.
Right.
So when you put it into the context like that, as a Yankee fan, every Yankee fan wants to be in first place. Every Yankee fan want to go 162-0, majority besides like Grace, Ace, and myself. But as a Yankee fan, if you put the context like I just laid it out, the Toronto Blue Jays have the best record in baseball, and we are just still 4 games behind them with all the issues that the Yankees are dealing with, from the bullpen to the defense, from Anthony Volpe to Jason Dominguez, even though he made a phenomenal play in yesterday's game as well. So there's a lot of teams in Major League Baseball. The parity level, it's even, right? There's no other team. Like you said, I'm not scared of the Blue Jays. I'm not scared of the Red Sox. I'm definitely not scared of the Orioles. They already started doing their little fire sale, trading pieces off left and right. So if the Yankees can just fix the bullpen, which is the major issue right now, the bullpen ever since Luke Weaver got injured and then Fernando Cruz went down, Ian Hamilton is not the same version of himself that he was a couple of years ago. And the same thing with Jonathan Loaizaga. We had a Yankee Stadium yesterday. There was a Hispanic, a Latino press conference yesterday. I was able to talk with Jonathan Loaizaga, and he said that he's still trying to get the movement back from his sinker. He's still trying to command his breaking pitches. And even after how dominant he was the 2 years before he got injured, even though in 2 years from his injury, it takes time for a pitcher to get back into the form that he was when he was once dominant. So now, time.
Now, Hector, if Loaizaga can, be better down the stretch, I'm not saying get back to that form, but just be better down the stretch. I think that's key. The Yankees have some things I think that could be good. Luis Hill coming back, but you're also asking a lot still of him. I think the Yankees need to go add a bullpen arm. I understand that the price is high right now, but you got to try to make this a little bit easier in getting the ball to Devin Williams. You got to try to do that. I like the moves the Yankees have made to McMahon. I like that move. I think he's going to thrive as a Yankee. I know it obviously looks good after last night. That looks fantastic. But I think he's going to thrive as a Yankee. I think the Yankees need to shore up the defense or the infield, put somebody out there that they could trust at third base. It was perfect moving Jazz back to second. So I think they've made some good moves on the margins. The question is Brian Cashman going to prospect hug, or is he going to go for it and say, okay, we have a chance? Because for everything you just said, Hector, and I know all of you agree, there's nobody in the American League the Yankees should be fearing. Are the Yankees a flawed team? Yeah. A lot of teams in baseball are flawed, and that's why they're going out and making these moves right now to try to shore up the bullpen, to do all these teams are doing this, right? We are not seeing a lot of bats being moved. This is teams going to shore up the bullpen. So if you're the Yankees, the way the American League is right now, I think you got to go for it. You have a chance. And look, fans are going to say, well, Dex, they didn't play good in the month of July. I get it. Teams are going to go through bad stretches. Look at the Mets at the end of June going to July. They lost 13 out of 17 games. You're going to see these bad stretches. They're going to happen. What you want is, can you be playing your best baseball come the end of the season right now? And that's really it. That's really it. And so I hear you. But I think there's some pressure on Brian Cashman, because I like the moves he's made around defense. I liked getting Ahmed Rosario. I liked getting some depth for I like those moves. I think they're good. They're not sexy moves, but they're good moves. Now you got to go get yourself a bullpen arm. I mean, listen, I think Yankee fans would like another starter, but I don't know who that guy is that you go out and give a bunch of prospects up to get that starter. That guy, I'm not sure who that is.
There's some reports right now that the Yankees are engaging with the Padres around their closer Suarez. So let's see what happens with that. Grace, I'll kick it over to you, folks. We got over 180 in the building. If you guys can, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and help us when it comes to reaching our goals. You guys can donate, drop a super chat, whatever you can, help us keep the lights on. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, when it comes to making a trade,
oh, Grace, where you go, Grace?
Oh, I thought there were 3 outs.
If you guys didn't know, Austin Wells forgot how many outs there were yesterday on the base.
Oh, Grace,
Oh,
Grace, she's out here taking shots at Austin Wells.
My bad. I guess I was just being an idiot.
Oh man.
By the way, I have to say, I have seen people on social media saying, "Oh, Austin Wells took accountability, so that's good." Horse shit. He took accountability. If you watch the video, this man literally shrugged it off like it was no big deal. Yes, if you take his quote and you read it, it seems like he took accountability. But if you watch the video, he was like, "Yeah, just being an idiot." And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I sent you the video. Immediately, I panned to the dugout. I was like, let me see what was going to be the reaction between Boone and Wells when that happened. And it was just shrugged it off. And Boone was like, all right, cool. And just kept it pushing. Ace, I'll kick it over to you, bro. How you doing? We got Cheesy Soul Cakes in the building. Cheesy, how you doing? Go ahead.
As far as to continue off Grace is saying, it's never, you never want to forget how many outs they are, especially this late in the season. Like, and that's the type of stuff that I say falls on Aaron Boone. It's the fundamentals at the end of the day. You have to have these guys ready to go. I said in yesterday's live stream, at this point in time, it's happened too much. Just like what they do in defense when they're like 1 out, 2 outs. We got to start yelling that to the guys on the base path. 1 away, 2 away, 3 outs, get off the field. Now you can get off the field because it becomes so annoying. And luckily, we're actually lucky that we came back and won that game, that it didn't cost us. Because could you imagine if the very next inning we would have lost? That would have been one of the worst losses of the season. But as far as the deadline, like I agree with the points that you guys are saying, definitely. You don't want a prospect hug, but at the same time, too, we do know that there's Yankee tax. That is true. Like, look at what happened with Suarez yesterday. Suarez got given up for a lot less than what we thought he was going to get given up for. All of a sudden, for us, they're talking about, we want Spencer Jones and Cam Slittler. Like, for the Yankees, it starts at the top. So Brian Cashman does have to be methodical with what he does. In years past, has he finessed people? Absolutely. But he also doesn't want to get fleeced. I don't want to hold on to these prospects like either, but you also have to get a good return at the same time too. This deadline was very pivotal for Brian Cashman and company. Especially, like I said, when you come out and say, we're going to go to town, so far this doesn't feel like a go to town type of deadline. But we got a couple more hours to go. We got a little over 6 hours left, and they got to make some sort of moves. And the bullpen is guys like Ian Hamilton, Jonathan Loaizaga. They're struggling. Guys like Tim Hill, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams are being overused. Tim Hill is leading the league in innings. Like he in innings for a reliever, he's getting killed out there. So you have to make some sort of upgrades, definitely. And today's the day to do it.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with you when it comes to the bullpen and when it comes to just additions in general. I like the Ryan McMahon addition. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ryan McMahon has gotten a hit in every game that he has played in as a member of the New York Yankee. His glove has definitely been a big impact in those games as well. So I love the Ryan McMahon addition to this team. The one thing that I'm going to push back just a little bit when it comes to Brian Cashman, right? You see what the Seattle Mariners gave up for in Eugenio Suarez. The Diamondbacks were asking for a ransom. They were asking for the Brewers' top prospect, and they got upset once the Yankees pivoted over to Ryan McMahon. Dexter, when I was at the All-Star weekend, Eugenio Suarez was talking to one of the Latino journalists that I know, and on Monday he let me know that Eugenio Suarez told him that him and his agent had it in their head that they're getting traded at the trade deadline. He knows he's getting traded. He was just mentally preparing himself where he was going to wind up. He told that journalist him and his agent thought he was coming to the Yankees because Brian Cashman began engaging conversations with the Diamondbacks back in June for Eugenio Suarez, right? And June 1st is when Corbin Burns got injured. At the end of May is when Oswaldo Cabrera got injured. So immediately after Corbin Burns got injured, a week later, Brian Cashman was calling up Arizona trying to get Eugenio Suarez. It's not Cashman's fault that they started asking for a ransom. And the moment the Yankees pivoted and went to Ryan McMahon, the asking price went down from Arizona because the Yankees weren't in it. And every team tried to use the Yankees as leverage when trying to get the most back in return for whatever superstar or package or whatever rental.
Yeah, I mean, Ace was right. The Yankee tax, we know this, the Yankee tax is real, right? And that's going to happen. And I don't think, and I've heard this a lot from Yankee fans, there's the camp that thinks Cashman has lost his fastball as a GM or, can't do it anymore. I don't believe that. And negotiations are hard. Now, you got to give the Yankees credit for whatever they valued Suarez at. And if they thought the price was too high, they said, okay, we're going to move elsewhere. To your point, Hector, because this is the point you're making, once they moved on to McMahon, that kind of resets the market now for a third baseman. Because they're like, if the Yankees going to move on and pay this price for McMahon, right, then, all right, we kind of wilding over here on Suarez, right? Like, we can't ask as much for him. So the price comes down. I think the Yankees looked at that, though, and had to be proactive and say, okay, yeah, the market is this. We're not willing to go here for that, for a rental. And this is where we're willing to go. Because I think the Yankees right now are valuing guys with control. You've got a couple years of control with McMahon. It's not, when you look at the Yankees, and this is where I agree with the valuation that Cashman probably made, it wasn't more so about offense. Like, if you get some decent offense out of McMahon, that's cool. You needed to be shorthanded with defense. Yeah. And I know all of y'all, because I see it with my coworkers. I was watching the game with them last night in the studio. Oh, man, the Yankee fans with Volpe right now. Oh, man, it is it is an adventure. When a ground ball's hit the short, people are like, oh, man, is he going to throw it away? Is he going to throw it in the dirt? Like, what's going to happen? So my point is you needed to be shorthanded on defense. You needed to upgrade there, and then I think you needed to add the arm. So I applaud Brian Cashman for taking care of those needs starting from last week. But now the clock is ticking. And Ace talked about, we're just a little over 6 hours away. Now the clock is ticking, and I think they got to add an arm. I think they got to add an arm. Yeah. Because Hector, if you come on with me later, and they don't add an arm, you see how Grace just walked out of here? All of y'all might just say, let's get out of here. If they don't add something.
We're gonna start the video like this. This is how it's gonna start on the New York Post, just like this with the violin playing and everything like that. But as you said, Dexter, trades are being made. Bullpen arms are coming off the board. There's not that many arms available now. The reliever market got thin when Emmanuel Clase did that, and that's a whole nother video and a whole nother conversation, because that's an epidemic in Major League Baseball that's going on right now when it comes to gambling or sports gambling. So when you look at the market, there are still names out there. Camilo DeVoe with the San Francisco Giants, that's a name that I like as a reliever as well. When it comes to these other teams that are out there, the Philadelphia Phillies, everybody want to talk about, they traded their 4th and 6th prospect in their system. Why can't the Yankees do that? They traded the 56th ranked prospect in all of Major League Baseball and the 92nd ranked prospect in all of Major League Baseball. When you look at George Lombard Jr., I love him. He's at 26 right now. The Yankees aren't trading George Lombard Jr. for Durant. Right. As much as I want Durant, they're not trading George Lombard Jr. So when you look at who's after him, you got Carlos LaRange, who's 94. You got Cam Slittler, who's 95, and then you got Spencer Jones, who is 98. Those last 3 names don't even come close to the second best prospect that the Phillies sent over in that trade for Durant. So you have to put the context in when we're having these conversations on trades.
I love that you did that. Looking at the context of top 100 matters way more than where they are ranked within your organization, right? And I think a lot of times people do that. And look, I even said that. I said, look, the Phillies gave up 2 top 6 prospects, but where are they ranked in terms of baseball? This is the point I was also trying to make to Mets fans about the Tyler Rogers trade. Drew Gilbert and Blade Tillwell, neither are top 100 prospects, right? And so when David Stearns is looking at that, he's like, all right, Y'all can move on from that. Where the prospects are in the grand scheme of baseball, that's what matters more. And still, even with that said, that's not saying that George Lombard Jr. is going to be a star. We don't know that for sure. But because he's 26 in baseball, that generally projects you to at least be a major league player, an everyday major league player, right? Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It could not happen, but at least projects you to be that. And I understand why the Yankees might want to hold on to him more than, let's say, Spencer Jones, who you just talked about being near the bottom of that top 100. And that's, look, if you're getting, I don't think anybody here is going to hold up. And again, it's easier for us. We are not GMs. We are not looking at these prospects every day. We are not doing any of that stuff. But I don't think Spencer Jones right now should hold up you going to get an impact arm if you're trying to be serious about winning. And that's crazy for me to say, because when do you ever even question if the Yankees are serious about winning? Like, you never even question that at all whatsoever. So I don't want to say that, but listen, there's a lot of time. And the problem in these last 6 hours, as H just mentioned, is it's a game of chicken, man. Everybody's going to be looking and saying, you really want this? Are you going to pay this price for this? And you're going to find out. That's the thing about this stuff. You know, when you're negotiating, is who's real and who's not. And it's tougher in these last 6 hours. It's harder to make these deals.
Careers and resumes are built at the trade deadline when it comes to GM. My fault, Ace. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was about to say the closer the clock ticks, it becomes a bidding war. This is why, like earlier, like I love the fact that the MO from Cashman, at least these last couple of years, is for position players, we'll get them a week or two earlier that we need. And then bullpen arms you're going to add, but then sometimes it might be a little too late. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't grab yourself good talent. There's a guy that I have on my screen right here, Luis Varlin from the Minnesota Twins, is a guy that, you know, the Twins are selling. He's a guy that you can possibly bring in that no one's talking about. A 2.02 ERA, a 1.8 WAR, 47 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.102. You know what I'm saying? Like those are little moves that you can make where we all know one thing. We trust Matt Blake. So here's guys that you can come in and can contribute, and Matt Blake can make them better as well. But it's the fact that, you know, you want the big names. But I do think like the Yankees are going to add a couple of names that make sense for them, that they're going to have a bunch of Reds on Baseball Savant, and the Yankees are going to think we can make these guys better. Will it ultimately contribute to us winning? We don't know. We ultimately have to see. The guys still got to go out there and perform at the end of the day. But I didn't think like the Yankees needed big moves this deadline. Like we did, like everybody wanted Eugenio Suarez. I wasn't on that train. Yes, I liked Ryan McMahon a couple of years ago, but I like him still this time because defense. I was, as soon as we lost Oswaldo Cabrera, I was all for Ahmed Rosario. That's who I wanted, and I was ecstatic when we got him. A guy that could play anywhere. But now it's time to focus on the bullpen. There are a couple of names that are being thrown out there. David Bednar. There were a couple of rumors that maybe they are taking him off the list. But Yankees got to figure out what they're going to do. Are you going to give up premier talent that you think is going to be good? Because you can't get something for nothing. You know what they say? The best deals are where both sides feel like they got screwed. That's what it ultimately comes down to. Those are the best trades.
We got a $10 super chat. Shout out to my guy Richie Squires in the building. Rich, thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on over here at Uptown Sports TV. If you guys can, take $1, take $2, drop a super chat. Rich said they send down the wrong catcher, but they won't send down Wells because the Yankees already ordered the Wells football jerseys for September 5th giveaway. Listen, this is the one thing I'm going to say about that. JC Escarra, you guys know me and JC real close. That's my guy. Literally 10, 15 minutes before, I guess he was told, he came up to me, said what up. Like I was literally recording a video. He thought I was on live and he came up. He's like, oh, you're not on live, bro? How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So I just want to take a second. Shout out to JC Escarra. Let's see what happens after the trade deadline, because if the Yankees make some moves, there may be some roster spots, maybe some movement has to go around. Maybe JC comes back up to the big league squad. But regardless, I will take a trip down to Scranton. He's with the Yankees AAA affiliate, so I will take a trip down to Scranton just so I can work media, just to show love to my guy, JC Escarra. So if you guys can, show love to JC, go on social media. I have a video real quick that I want to share, right? And I want to get everybody's thoughts. This is actually from Brian Cashman. A video just dropped right now that I have. Hold on, give me 2 seconds to find it. Yep, here it is. And
I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man. That's all I think about is you guys and how I set you up for the best possible advantage I can give you to have a season. I swear to you, man. I just need you to trust me. That's all.
Honestly, I don't know what happened. The video got corrupted. I'm not sure what video that is. But go ahead, Grace. I'll kick it over to you.
You know, shout out to Dan Campbell. That's a fighting Texas Aggie right there. Y'all know that's my school, Texas A&M. Caden Kent on his way, baby. Giga Aggies forever. But anyway, I wanted to say, on the Wells subject, I sent you this picture, Hector. I don't know if you could pull it up.
I'll pull it up right now. Go ahead.
Okay. We're talking about Austin Wells. And Hector's pulling it up right now, but I'll just start reading it. Wells is his batting average is .048. 48 over his last 7 games. 184 over his last 14 games. But don't worry, he's 175 over the last 30 games. So we're all riding Anthony Volpe, right? Because Austin Wells at least is giving us some sense of defense behind the dish. Everybody loves his framing ability, which is going to be heavily reduced next year when the ABS system is implemented across Major League Baseball. However, when he makes the base running mistakes, and this is not the first, last night was not the first time that Austin Wells has been doubled up this season on the base pass. To forget how many outs there are when your team just tied it up in the bottom of the 9th inning and your teammate laid down a bunt. In what universe would your teammate lay down a bunt if there are 2 outs? When your teammate lays down a bunt, you should be autopilot that there's not 2 outs. It should be in your bones, in your blood, in your body, that you should just know the situation of what's going on. Besides the fact that it was the bottom of the 9th inning in a tie game in a division race, I mean, right before the trade deadline where your team needs this win and your bullpen is absolutely on tilt. It is egregious. Now, I know people make mistakes. I get it, okay? But these batting average numbers of Austin Wells, watching him at the plate with his slow swing, he's swinging under everything. He's late. He's lost. I know he runs into a home run every once in a while, but even a blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while. You know what I mean? So, well, y'all never heard that one?
No. I'm still trying to get over cow eating cabbage. I'm still trying to get over that one from last week.
Well, Boone needs to let Austin Wells know how the cow eats cabbage, because according to his post-game interview, he said he was reviewing the play at first to see if he wanted to issue a challenge. So he didn't even see Austin Wells get doubled up. According to Aaron Boone, he was watching the video trying to see if he wanted to call for a review when Austin Wells walks into the dugout. And Aaron Boone looks up and he's like, "What happened?" And Austin Wells told him, "Oh, I forgot how many outs there were." What would you do? Let me ask you this. What would you do if you're the manager of the New York Yankees and your starting catcher, who you just sent JC Escarra down to double down on your support of? If your starting catcher makes this type of mistake in this situation that I've just laid out, and you have to have him play the rest of the game, because Ben Rice is already in, and you pinch ran for him or whatever, so you don't have an option at catcher. So how would you guys handle it? Somebody jump in.
I'm gonna say real quick, and I'll toss it over to Dex and then Ace. I may be the wrong person to ask this question because growing up, my grandfather was from Trinidad, and if I got multiplication wrong, he would tell me to go get a switch. So I'm the wrong person to ask this question to. So Ace or Dex, you guys.
I might be the wrong person to ask that too, being that my family's from the Eastern Caribbean, and sometimes switches were involved too. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that.
No, but definitely not right.
Definitely not right. But what I will say is, Grace, I think that. Sorry, I was seeing somebody put something in the chat, but I thought something else. I think that when there has to be more accountability, and I think that's a fair criticism that you've been seeing from Yankees fans throughout. Is where's the accountability for these players? Volpe's making these errors. He's still up here. He has not been sent down. But look, to the Yankees defense, not that I want to defend them on this. It was like, well, who else are you going to put in there? That's part of their problem, right? But you can't have that. At some point, there has to be some showing, and you've seen this from Boone in the last couple of years. Guys not running hard, not willing to call them out publicly. And I'm saying, I'm not saying you have to embarrass a player. I'm not saying that. But if it was me, maybe I'm not pulling Austin Wells out the game right there because it was an extras. But you're not catching the next game.
Right. I totally agree, Dexter.
Yeah. You gotta sit and think about this for a little bit, right? Like there had something you have to show something to the rest of the team, because that's the thing. I don't care if we sometimes don't do this with sports. Sports it's a job, it's work. These guys are coming to work at a very high level that we respect, and if there isn't accountability at your job or my job or whatever you do, and somebody just does whatever they want, the rest of the team's looking like, yo, so this person could do this, and we're just gonna be okay with that. Like, especially and I think this is part of your point, Grace, and why you're so annoyed, especially in a critical situation, in an extra innings game, right? This is what happens. Listen, brain farts happen. I get it, but I'm a believer in accountability. I'm a big believer in that. Like, I believe that accountability matters. I think that you have to do that. I think you have to show that sometimes. Sometimes you got to sit a guy down. Sometimes you got to talk to them. And everybody's different. Everybody doesn't respond to the same thing the same way. So,
And Dex, to your point,
there's
nobody, right? You can argue Rosario or Peraza, whatever, but there's no real other major league level shortstop option behind Anthony Volpe, but there are options behind Austin Wells.
Yeah.
And even though he is a automatic out at the plate, he has been giving us at least some level of an anchor behind the dish. But if that goes away, which last night he didn't catch that throw from Belly in right field in extra innings when he should have caught it. And he made that horrible, unforgivable mistake on the base paths. When you start adding that into the fact that you're an automatic out and we have an option, I totally agree with you, Dexter. He would not be in the lineup today for me if I was the manager, 100%.
Yeah. And I would like to make a little comparison too, because Grace, you bring it up a good point. The point I think you're making is, like, once things start to affect other parts of your game, like you see the hitting is, the hitting is bad. Yes, he has not been good. There's no sugarcoating this.
Right.
But when it starts to affect the defense or the base running and the mental mistakes, that's when I start to worry a little bit about a player. And that's where I start saying, okay, do you need a reset? The Mets did this with Francisco Alvarez. Wasn't hitting. Then you saw it starting to affect his defense with the pass balls. And they sent him down for about 3.5 weeks. And you know what? I liked it. Since he's come back up, guys looked a lot more focused. Sometimes you need a wake-up call to say, hey, getting to the big leagues is hard. We all know this. But you can't be comfortable here. And I think you never want players to feel like they're comfortable without any accountability, right? And that's it. And I think you gotta. If it was up to me, I'd sit him for 2 games personally. Right, not just the game. Yeah, Ace, you with me on this? I might sit him for 2 games.
Because here's the thing. You could, like yesterday, you couldn't take him out because of the moves that were made prior. Ben Rice got pinch ran for earlier, so we had no catcher. So you had to keep him in there. Today is just the typical day game after a night game, so you're not playing him anyway. So there are no repercussions. As far as what would have happened to me, Hector said he would have got the switch. My mom is a strong Puerto Rican woman from the Bronx. She straight up threw hands with me whenever I got in trouble. No problem. My mom legit threw me through a wall, no lie. Like, for real. But there's no accountability on this team. And like I always say, attitude reflects leadership. It comes from the top. It really does. Like, Boone it seems like sometimes just allows these guys to kind of run rampant. And I often equate it to, it's like a parent, right? When you're cooking and your kid is going to touch the stove, Don't tell them it's hot after they touch it. Teach them. You have to teach these kids. And it seems like the Yankees just wait until something goes wrong to tell them you shouldn't have done that. Look at what happened with Vivas the other day, a couple of weeks ago. You telling me he's playing all this time, he doesn't know how to hustle, and then you're telling him, yo, you got to know how to do that. You got to know better. It's about teaching these guys in certain circumstances. And this is why I say I put it at the top when it comes to, Howe, Cashman, Boone. You have to put these guys in the best position to succeed. Now, I do give kudos to Boone for being a locker room guy, for being that guy that's going to go out there and try to defend his guys. But you can still kind of say, just be honest with us, because at the end of the day, it seems like you're lying to us, like we're stupid. New Yorkers, not just New Yorkers, but Yankee fans, some of the smartest fans of all of sports. We have eyes. We see what's going on out there. And the fact that it's a continuous problem is what makes me think it's an ownership thing, because it's not like it's just one or two gaffes that happen. It's happening all the time with these mental mistakes. Dominguez did it. Volpe's done it a couple times. Wells, like the list goes on. And these are our young players doing this. You're not seeing Cody Bellinger, who's coming from a different organization, pulling that.
Right.
You're not seeing Goldie do that. Now, do errors happen? Yes, mistakes do happen. Nobody in God's earth is perfect. But it's just the fact that we can't develop these guys and we can't teach them the right and wrongs is what ultimately frustrates me as a Yankee fan. Yeah,
it doesn't look good organizationally. And I've seen other people in the chat talking, shout out to Erica Garcia, the homie Erica Garcia, saying that, no Wells today. And you're right, Ace, too. Obviously, he will not play today. And that's what you're right. It's not a repercussion with the day game after the night game. You got to send more of a message there. Now, this can't just be Austin Wells targeted. To your point, Ace, this has to be for everybody. Everybody's got to know that there's accountability. And I do think it's fair for the Yankee fan to say, I've been looking at this for the last couple of years. I've seen these mistakes. I've seen this lack of discipline over and over again. And we all here cannot point to anybody and say, there was a time there was some accountability from Aaron Boone where this player their feet was held to the fire, for lack of a better term. And it was like, hey, you're not going to play for a couple of games. You're not going to do this. And you're right, Ace. It starts from the top. It's got to be within coaching. Got to be.
To a point, accountability, right? Like both Ace and you just talked about Dex, and I'll kick it over to Grace. And this is what frustrates me as somebody that, like, I have the privilege. Again, shout out to Latino sports and being able to work the games, work in media at the stadium. Yesterday at the stadium, and even on Monday at the stadium. It's frustrating because when I'm there early, yesterday, 3:00, Jazz is out there. Grace, I've told you all the time, Ace, Jazz is one of the first guys that are out there on the field and doing batting practice or doing any infield drills. Shout out to Jazz Chisholm for that one right there. But seeing Jazz at 3:00 and then seeing them work on infield drills, work on base running. And that's what's so frustrating, Grace, because I'm seeing them during batting practice work on the fundamentals. But why is it not translating onto the field? And that, as a fan, when you're watching it as a content creator or as a member of media, you start asking, is it on Aaron Boone? Is it on the coaching staff? Because when you work at a job, right, one thing I learned when I was like a 911 supervisor, when I worked in EMS, right, if I have people that are underneath me, I'm not there to tell them, hey, Dex, this is how you do your job. This is what you're supposed to do. No, I'm supposed to be there to help them along to do their job. I'm supposed to be a tool to help them do their job a lot easier. And that's what the manager and the coaching staff is supposed to do. Yes, we understand at the end of the day, they're athletes, professional athletes, getting paid millions of dollars to play a child's game professionally. We understand that. But at some point, you got to have the coaches there to help them come along the process as well, if you understand what I'm saying.
No,
I think Aaron Boone has been very open about the fact that he looks up to Joe Torre. He's involved him this season several times, including spring training, including the All-Star game. And he credits him as being one of the greatest Yankee managers and that he wants to emulate Joe Torre. However, I know, I need my cowboy hat. Chris is on the way. Heck, you got it. Dexter, if you don't know, I harassed Hector within an inch of his life. If you don't get me this Yankees cowboy hat that they're giving away at the stadium, so So he got, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? It belongs to me. It's made for me. Anyway,
you are the perfect Yankee fan to be sporting that. You are the perfect Yankee fan to be wearing that.
I think they did it. I think they designed it just for me.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
Izzo told me that. They did it specifically for you, okay?
Yeah, thank you. But going back to Joe Torre, the thing about Joe Torre's leadership style, and I've said this before, is that he didn't have to be the bad guy on that specific team, because he had Derek Jeter, who had a certain leadership style that held players very accountable. He had Jorge Posada on that team. Eventually, he had Brett Gardner on that team. He had CC Sabathia. Shout out to my number one. He didn't have to be the bad cop. He had a myriad of bad cops available, okay? Aaron Boone doesn't have that dynamic on his team. So his passive, perhaps, style that he's been known for over the last few years isn't being as effective. And he's modeling himself after Joe Torre, but that is ineffective because Joe Torre's team dynamic is not what Aaron Boone has. Aaron Judge, God love him. We love him. He's the best. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but his leadership style, I think we can all agree, is very different than Derek Jeter's leadership style. Okay? So, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to have a bad cop. You have to have someone hold them accountable, hold their feet to the fire, whatever you want to say. And I remember when I was in athletics, we would have times where somebody on the team would make a mistake and the whole team was punished. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have necessarily a bad cop that is willing to single out players and punish individual players, then punish the whole, make the whole team accountable for it. Because if they won't hold themselves accountable to the manager, maybe they'll hold themselves accountable to their teammates, okay? Because it was like, let's just say Grace messed up. Everybody's doing, I'm talking about basketball. Everybody's running lines. Line up. We're all running lines because Grace messed up or whatever. And I know they do that for lots of sports as well. So, I mean, try that. Try something, because the model of being the buddy and supporting and being a calm, like a waters run deep type of mentality that he's modeling after Joe Torre is not being effective with this Yankees team.
Yeah, it matters. It matters with who's the team and what the culture is around the team. But I think, if we're going to talk about accountability, we also have to talk about who's holding Aaron Boone accountable, right? What's the culture that is saying, I don't know. I'm assuming here. I'm not speaking anything that I know, just to be very clear. But is somebody from the top, whether this is Hal, whether this is Cashman, saying, "Hey, we need you to be more harder on these players in this way," because that's the thing we don't know. We don't know what the culture. Now, everybody always says you want your front office, your manager, your coach, you want them to be on the same page. You want to be interlocked. They got to be on the same page. At the same time, I want to take something that Hector said that I think is very important. When you are managing someone or managing people, you have to trust the professionals you hire to be professionals. Mm-hmm. Your job is to steer the ship, not to say, Grace, this is how you do this job. I hired you. I expect you to damn well know how to do the job. That's the thing. But there also are times where if you're in management, you have to have some tough conversations. And this is, I think, what you're talking about a little bit, Grace, and saying, hey, this is what we need to do. Or somebody to say to Aaron Boone, hey, man, I know that this is the way you roll, that you are usually a little bit more hands-off, but this group right here, they might need something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to be flexible. I think you have to be malleable in your management style. I'm not saying that's easy because it's not easy for all of us to do. Mm-hmm. But I think you have to, good organizations recognize, all right, this group, this isn't the 90s anymore. This isn't the, Joe Torre. You're not Joe Torre. You don't have the players Joe Torre had. I think it's a great point, Grace. But how do you then adjust to this way? And it's about what's coming from the top. Who's saying that? Is that message being passed down? I'm not saying that it's not, because I don't know. But is that message being passed down? One other thing I want to say is somebody said I look like a young Willie Randolph in the chat, and I've heard this before a couple of times from people, which is funny because we are actually from the same neighborhood in Brooklyn. But yeah, Willie Randolph, one of the greats. So,
yeah,
that's a compliment.
One of the greats, definitely a compliment. Big fan of Willie Randolph. Richie Squires with a $10 super chat. Appreciate Rich. He says, Erica, I disagree with Judge leadership style. We need someone like O'Neal or Posada style and culture to hold the rest accountable. Judge on the field is too buddy. It doesn't work.
Okay, I can respect that.
Basically saying he's like the manager from The Office. Go ahead, Ace. I'll kick it over to you.
It's hard to be a leader of men. Let's be honest. Like, and these guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? They're getting paid more than Boone too. So it's really hard to go out there, especially when you have one sort of management style, and then years later you try to switch up. But it is about a culture thing. Realistically, that's what it feels like the Yankees are missing, right? Speaking of Willie Randolph, right? We saw him come back a couple of times this year. That's what this Yankee organization needs to continue to do. Can we bring back the greats like when Andy Pettit's working with Max Fried? Can we bring back the great Yankees to stay in this organization and help the upper management teach these guys like the right way to play the game and the right way to hold yourself accountable, that type of stuff? Like, because, bring back Posada to help out Austin Wells. Like, you have to keep great players throughout this organization in this organization. That's ultimately what it comes down to with me. Like, I just love seeing Pettit back out there, Willie out there, that type of stuff. But that's what I feel like. And it's a culture thing. It helps build culture because then, you remember the old Derek Jeter adage where Don Mattingly was teaching Jeter, always run off the field because you never know who's watching. You never know if the boss is watching. That's what this Yankee team has to do. Remember, there's pride in this pinstripe, and that's what this team has to remember.
One thing I'm going to say, right? It's 12 o'clock right now, and the lineup is out because the Yankees do play at 1. We got over 360 in the building. Dex, I just want to check with you. Are you good on timing? Just let me know what time you got to do.
Yeah, I got like another, I could do another 20 minutes or so.
Copy. Just want to respect your time, brother, and I appreciate you taking time, and I will be on later on with you. Shout out to my guy, Dexter Henry, somebody who has been very, very supportive of my career and of me working in sports media. Dex, I always will give you a shout out, always give you your credit. You're my mentor, my big bro. Love you, man. Appreciate you.
Love you. And I just want to say in the middle of this, love what you guys are doing. Love how you guys are growing. Grace, you've been on with me. Ace, we got to do the same for you. We got to get you on. Love just introducing new voices, and pleasure to be a part of it. But I love what you guys are doing. Love how you guys are growing. It's a testament. Look how many people are in here watching this before the trade deadline. Content creation is great, and when we can bring different voices in, it's always a beautiful thing. So salute to you guys, man, because that's good, and everybody should know Hector's done a lot of hard work behind the scenes. I am proud to support him and everything he does, but it's on him that he's done the work. He's held himself accountable. I will say, right? He's done the work.
Grace holds him accountable.
Yeah, and he's also been.
I'm the Jorge Posada up in here. Okay?
Are you the Jorge Posada up in here? And I also would like to add, Hector, I think, is also extending something that I'm very passionate about, which is putting the diverse voices on. So having women like Grace here to talk about the Yankees is important. Because we don't see enough of that. In some places are just bringing the same men on all the time. Having Ace here, as you would understand, Hector, as a fellow Latino, to talk baseball is important. I just want to say I think that stuff is important, and I think it's important for all the viewers to see different voices, different perspectives. And I try to do at my work, but I want to salute you because you're continuing to do that as well. And that's dope, man.
I appreciate you. Also, shout out to Skills and Carla. We will be back. Knicks and Fuego for the up and coming Knicks season.
Ladies, Skills.
I love them so much. Yeah, Skills and Carla, they are amazing, dope ladies in the Knicks community. Make sure you guys follow them. But back to the conversation, right? Because the lineup is out, and something that I told you yesterday, Grace, and you got a little bit sad about is be on the lookout for the lineup, because the rumors that I was hearing yesterday while at the stadium and on Monday, the Yankees and the Florida Marlins are engaged in conversations. Right now, people are putting in the chat, Saudi Alcantara, Edward Cabrera is a name that's being tossed out there, and a name that Yankee fans may not want to give up could be Jason Dominguez in that trade, right? Hypothetically, according to the rumors, right? I know Grace got the Martian ears on, but hypothetically, if the Yankees were to do a trade with the Miami Marlins, it will be centered around what I was hearing around Jason Dominguez, Will Warren, going back to Miami in exchange for either Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, and the outfielder Jesus Sanchez, who is a left-handed bat. And the thought process behind it is, if the Yankees get Sandy, that means they send Marcus Stroman and the rest of his money for this year to Miami. If the Marlins do not want to bring back Marcus Stroman's contract, the Yankees would keep Stroman, and then they would send a couple of extra prospects to Miami for Cabrera and a reliever. Who the prospects are, I don't know. Who the reliever is from Miami, I don't know. This is just something that I heard from a scout yesterday and on Monday.
They just better not. I'm going to lose it. If they trade Jason Dominguez, my baby, who has 5 years of control left. For Sandy Alcantara, recovering from Tommy John ain't what it used to be, Marlin, I'm gonna blow my stack.
Ace.
Now, if you want to trade Jason Dominguez, and I texted you this, Hector, if you want to trade Jason Dominguez for Stephen Kwan or a star-level difference maker, even I, the biggest Jason Dominguez fan, would hear you out and like maybe make that trade. Okay, like I'm not without logic, but Sandy Alcantara hasn't been. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, so please forgive me. Alcantara. He hasn't been what he. It's not giving what it needs to give.
I get it. But over his last few starts, July 29th, 5 innings, 0 runs, 4 strikeouts. July 23rd, 7 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. And then his last start against the Royals, he gave up 4 runs.
Four strikeouts. That is not it.
I'm one of these teams. I'd be going for Sandy Alcantara. I would. I think if the Yankees got him, listen, he struggled this year. He started to pitch a little bit better lately. Grace, I know you don't want to give up Dominguez. I'm not saying they should. I would probably like to hold on to him with the Yankees. I would see what else you could try to give up. But these teams, I think somebody who gets Sandy, it's going to be good because he's got, I don't remember, it's 2 or 3 years of control after this one. And his final year, I think, is a team option. 2? Final year is 2. I think you're right about that. Final year is a team option. I still love his talent. If you can get him at that top of the rotation with Max Fried, and then you have Garrett Cole coming back next year, that's scary. I like it. I think he's going to help some team. Now the Marlins going to ask for a lot because I think he's the most. I'm putting there. He's the most talented. Not having the best season, but the most talented arm that could be available. It's just that what are the Marlins going to ask for? Now, if Jason Dominguez is your line, I can't kill you on that. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll want to trade Dominguez. I don't think the Yankees really can trade Dominguez, right? Especially when you look how things are going. Stanton getting older in the lineup. I get that, but I think they should be in on Alcantara, as my colleague John Haven's reporting. I just wonder what the price is. It's what it comes down to. What's the price, and what are the Yankees really need to do? Now, I just saw somebody, Chris in the chat just said the Yankees need bullpen arms before anything. I do agree with that. I agree with that. However, if you could get a starter of his talent and it didn't cost you too much, don't think it's bad to look that way is what I'm saying.
I was just gonna say also, and I did add, it would be for an extra bull. It would be a bullpen arm thrown into the trade as well. Who the bullpen arm is, I don't know. I was just told the two headliners being Sandy or Cabrera and Jason Dominguez and Will Warren. That's what I was told. And the thought process from the Marlins is the Marlins believe more in Jason Dominguez than they do in Spencer Jones.
And Will Warren?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Again, all hypothetical. All hypothetical. Go ahead, Ace. Go ahead. My fault.
Dominguez is the line for me as well. I don't know if there's only a couple of people I've been on the record saying I would move Dominguez for. Acuna Jr. is one of them. Paul Skeens, no doubt. But I need to see how it's going to work out with Jason Dominguez here when given a full opportunity, because his upside to me is superstar potential if he goes out there and plays every day. I know that's music to your ears, Grace. I know you're loving that.
It is. Keep going.
I honestly wouldn't mind if you went ahead and gave up a Will Warren, a Spencer Jones, and actually gave up a little bit more and kept Dominguez. But we ultimately got to see, like Heck was saying, you got to look at the lineups today, see who's in it. Right now, Grisham's not in the lineup. Do we think he's going to be moved, like for potentially a pitcher? I don't know. Like, you got to look all throughout baseball to see who's kind of in and who's kind of out. But Sandy is just one of those things where, another more time removed from that procedure is the better for him, because you get more time to heal up and he could get better. But like Dex was saying, next year could look deadly, but I'm also trying to find moves that are going to make us good this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we win the World Series, then it will be fine.
Listen, and then again, this is how I pivot over to the boys in Queens, because what David Stern did yesterday,
right.
That's all in. That's an all-in move for GM. He did not just address one. He got an extra. You got two bullpen arms yesterday, and now the Mets, they have a three-headed monster at the end of their bullpen, starting with Edwin Diaz.
And if the Mets win the World Series, ain't no Mets fan gonna be crying about who they gave up to make it happen.
There you go, Grace.
So I'll flip that back at you, Grace. So if we win the World Series and Dominguez is gone and Alcantara starting Game 7 and pitches a 8-inning shutout ball, we win it. Are you still gonna be missing JD?
No. But they better win, because just going and losing ain't gonna cut it for me. If you win the World Series, though, I'll be like, Jason Dominguez, I wish you the best. I'll always be a fan, but my Yankees come over Jason Dominguez. I love my Yankees.
Speaking with
New York Yankees.
Speaking with the media before the game today, Brian Cashman said this, and this was via Brian Hoke. Shout out to the Hulkmeister. Him and I was having some wrestling talks yesterday. Hilarious. This is what Cashman said. Hopefully, they are our big deals for us. Referring to Luis Hill, Mark Leiter Jr., Fernando Cruz, and Ryan Yarborough coming back from injury.
That is not what the Yankee fan wants to hear.
No, that drives me nuts. But are we surprised, though, as Yankee fans? Are we surprised that they would think like that? No, because we've been saying it for weeks. This is how the Yankees think, and they operate.
Also, Ace,
you know who doesn't want to hear that? Dex, and then I'll let you go. You know who doesn't want to hear that even more than the Yankees fans? Tim Hill, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams. These guys are gassed. You think we're refreshing Twitter? Bro, let me promise you something. The bullpen is refreshing Twitter, okay? They need help bad. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah. The one thing I will say to this, right? I like to call in all sports, trade season is lying season. A lot of people lying out there.
Yeah.
And so you want to do this to help create the market that you want to be fair for you. So you say, we got the internal, reinforcements. That's going to be the trade deadline for us. Yes and no, right? People want to see a little bit more. I get that. That's not going to be. So Aaron Boone's not wrong, but he also could just be posturing right here. So guys think, the Yankees aren't really going for it. Aaron Boone before the game said, we'll be fine. And then some last minute, Cashman makes a call at 4:00 to somebody and is like, yo, can we get this done? A lot of this is happening. So I don't know how much to take about what Aaron Boone said. I understand why the gut reaction is like, this is disappointment. But everybody lies at this time of year. So
You're absolutely right, because this is the land of WWE. This is fake storytelling. This is the manager. This is the GM's not letting the cat out of the bag. I understand that, but when I see this or when I hear these quotes, this is the first thing I think of.
Another one.
It's another one from the New York Yankees, right? Or,
oh, brother, this guy stinks.
That's how I feel as both a Yankee fan and a content creator. But understanding that when you put the context out there, right? Understanding that Aaron Boone's not going to come out there and say, yeah, I hope Brian Cashman gets us Camilo Doval, gets us this person, get us Sandy Alcantara. We're trading Jason Dominguez because we got into. Boone is not going to say that. Cashman is not going to say that. So they're just allowed to say as little as they can without giving too much, if you get what I'm saying. Shout out to my guy, Super Dave, that's in the building.
Aaron Boone is like Leonidas looking at 300 men when the entire Persian army is bearing down on them, and they're like, what are we gonna do? And Aaron Boone's like, don't worry guys, we still have a chance.
It's right in front of us.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna lure them into this really narrow little passageway. We're gonna fight them off one by one. This is Sparta. You know what I mean? That's what Aaron Boone has to do right now. He's got to look at his men and say, we're good. And on the inside, he might be freaking out.
I want to, Dex, before you go, because it's 12:14 right now, right? Yeah. So I'll have last two things, and then you could just give us your take, and then we could wrap it up with my guy, Dexter Henry. Make sure you guys follow him on all social media platforms. I will be tagging him after this video is done on a lot of our clips that we'll be putting out. We're going to be doing a lot more clips on social media, so be on the lookout for that. But Dex, Cody Bellinger, he's reached 20 home runs this season and 98 games with the New York Yankees. Last year with the Chicago Cubs, Cody Bellinger, he had only 18 home runs with the Cubbies. How much is Cody Bellinger going to get paid? And to follow up, the last part of that is, what's your thoughts on Aaron Judge?
So Cody Bellinger of it all, he is going to, I don't know what his annual average will be, but he's secured himself a bag because not only has he hit well, he's been extremely clutch. Last night, obviously with the triple, and now it's at the point where I'm like not even shocked. I'm like, man, this dude is just clutch. He feels, I hate to say, he feels like one of these Yankee players of old, like fits in, always having good at bats, works the count, comes up with the big hits. You trust him in a big spot right now. He's been healthy. That's also been a huge key for him. Yankee fans, yeah, they want to re-sign him now. Okay, Grace, I see it in your face. You would re-sign him yesterday if you could. Okay, you want him back already. I think it'll be I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a long deal. I think he'll get something with 3 or 4 years. But I think he's got all the leverage here, especially now. Look, the other factor in this is I'm not worried about this with him, just in how he's been, but he's got to perform in the postseason, assuming the Yankees get there, and I think they will. He hits like this in the postseason, and he's a guy you can trust in that lineup, especially we know Aaron Judge's struggles in the postseason. We know Giancarlo Stanton has been fantastic in the postseason. But if he also hits in the postseason, he's a proven performer there. You're like, okay. They got to – look, they got to bring him back. I could see him getting somewhere between 28, 32 million per. That would be my guess. I haven't read enough on this to see. I see Eric just put in the chat. She had 4 years to 120 million. So I'd see about that. That's a 3-4 year deal. That's about what I see. I don't think any of us sitting here would say, oh, that's an overpay. I think that's fine.
No. You know who's foaming at the mouth over Cody Bellinger's year? Scott Boras. He can't wait to cash in and have him get another payday. So yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he's been taking L's on some paydays lately. Scott Boras
he definitely has.
This feels like a layup for him that he should get here with Bellinger. Yeah, I like that number from Erica. 4 for 120 feels really good. I would do it in a second. Hector here says in that same range. I said 28 to 30. Mm-hmm. I think that's fine for him. Yes, I would do that. Now, the Aaron Judge part of it is what you asked me, Hector. Mm-hmm. When that news came out on Saturday, I was like, man, the thing that makes me nervous is I was thrilled for the Yankee fan and for fans because you want to see a player like Aaron Judge play. You want him on the field.
Yeah.
Just like, is this a precursor to an eventual tear? That's the thing I worry about, right? Like, can he come back and play? And I don't want to say it feels like it's inevitable. You know, I know they said 10 days they would evaluate. He's on the 10-day IL. They'll see how he is after that. Did he do any throwing yesterday? I think I read something. Did he do some throwing yesterday?
Yeah, I saw some.
Yeah,
I
he
saw
was.
some.
It was light tosses that he was doing, and I would say real quick, the saving grace for me, as somebody, you know, when I'm there, and I was there Monday and Wednesday, he's walking around like he's making himself available, and he's not wearing like a protective guard or a protective sleeve or anything like that. Honestly, I think if he did, it would be like more headlines out there for like the media and stuff like that. But correct me if I'm wrong, Dex. If it was something that was more severe or that severe that he's going to be out for a long time, wouldn't he be wearing something protective on it? Hypothetically, maybe.
Yeah, I would think they'd want him to, but since he, you know, the one thing he did say that I found interesting, Hector, was he said he didn't feel a lot of the pain when he was gripping the bat and hitting, and that was interesting to me. He said more of the pain was when he was throwing.
Okay,
but that's the concern for me, as we know with the UCL from throwing. He's not a pitcher, so he doesn't have the same amount of torque and, you know, arm angles and all that stuff you're worried about. But, you know, sometimes he's got to make some throws from the outfield. You got to put a little bit more on it. And if he's not right, that's a scary thought for the Yankees and their fans, because he has to come back and be right. You also can't mess with this man's future. He is in the prime of his career. The Yankees have been trying to win a championship in the prime of his career. I hope he can come back healthy. I hope it's okay with rest. I mean, I think the encouraging sign is the imaging came back clean and there was nothing there. But I just also always worry about stuff like that, which is why, the rest is going to be good. All the orthopedic folks and sports medicine folks are going to say the rest is probably the best thing for him right now. I will put it like this. If the Yankees can survive him being out another 2 weeks past this, to play it cautiously, I would do that. If you can get to the middle of August without him, I would. Now, are you confident in that as a Yankee fan? No, I'm not, because he's been everything in this lineup. We know how much he's been everything. We just talked about how good Belly's been. He's fine. Jazz has had himself a good year. Other guys are going to have to step up, but because if he's not there, this is where you can't deal with the Austin Wells of it all. You can't have that right now because you don't have Aaron Judge, right? So you can't have the base running mistakes. You can't have the bad hitting. Everybody is to elevate. That is a lot to ask, right? But you got to see if you can survive this, and you got to have him as healthy as possible. I'm slightly concerned because the imaging came back okay, it alleviates some of that. I just worry for him. Does this rear its ugly head later on? Does it become an issue again if you get late in September, if you're in the playoffs? You know, and then you talk. I don't want to put this out here, but I don't want to like talk about injuries like that because I don't want to put it out here. But you got to worry about longer concerns with Aaron Judge, and I think the Yankees have to try to protect his health as much as possible. But it's tough because you're also trying to balance winning the division. And he is such a, I don't tell you, he is the MVP. He's going to be the MVP. He is such a crazy presence, in this Yankee lineup and what he does for them. So if he's not there, it's going to be tough, but they got to get him right. You got to play this cautiously, and I think the Yankees will. I also think Aaron Judge is not going to play if he thinks it's going to hurt the team or hurt himself.
Dexter, I know you're not a Yankees fan.
Yes.
But
I'm not a Yankees hater, just to be clear.
Wait,
I want to be very clear about that.
I want to tell you that anytime Aaron Judge does anything, we are terrified. Not just now because he's dealing with something. Anytime he slides, anytime he runs into the wall, anytime he does anything, we're all on pins and needles. So, of course, now more than ever, I would have to believe that not only are Yankees fans concerned, but the front office, who has millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars tied up in Aaron Judge in the future, what the future picture looks like, including the captain Aaron Judge, they've got to be on top of it. If I can trust one thing from the front office, it has to be this. And they are acting like he's not going to be DHing for very long. They're going to have him back in the outfield. So hopefully that means that the images were really, really positive. And Aaron Boone also mentioned that before he even went to see Elatrash, the doctor, they already knew that earlier in that day that the images looked clean and clear. They just went to see Dr. Elatrash as an extra precautionary measure to get advice. So hopefully that means they're taking all of the steps necessary to ensure the long-term health of Aaron Judge, hopefully.
Yeah, and I have no reason to think that they won't. I just think usually in situations like this, Grace, it's just could be something as simple as rest is what he's going to need. You just don't want to overtax it. And I always will say when it comes to situations where the medical opinion is going to be rest is better, over resting is probably even the better concern, because the worst thing you want to do is get him back out there, and then you got to have him in the outfield, and he's got to make stressful throws in a pennant race. Got to take, more bats, even though he said the bats weren't really bothering him. It was more of the throwing. You just don't want to put him in more stressful situations. So, but I think Aaron Judge also, you got to give him credit. If he came to the Yankees with this, he told him he was having the discomfort, so he knows his body. If he says he's fine, I think he's going to play. But I just think you just don't want to be in stressful situations. That's pretty much my concern.
Yeah, and let me add one more thing on this subject because we're cooking. Is the doctor also reportedly said that Aaron Judge didn't even need a 10-day IL stint, that he would have been able to continue on playing DH, just not throwing for a few weeks, and then he could start throwing again. And Aaron Judge wanted to do that. However, the front office said, no, you're going on the IL for 10 days, then we'll talk about it. So to your point, Dexter, being overcautious, being over-rested, maybe that is what they're doing. I hope so.
Yeah, and I think that's the right move, to be honest. Like, when you looked at what they got from the medical information, I think it was the right move, because you don't want to put him in a situation where if the doctor's saying that he would have just DH and throw, the more important thing is, can you have that versatility, flexibility to move him to DH and play in the outfield down the stretch of the season? That becomes really valuable. So if you lose him for 10 days, and I would probably say it might even be a little bit more than that. We'll see how that goes if he comes back after the 10 days. Yeah, I think there's no harm in being cautious right here. I think if this is September, maybe you play it differently. But because it was July, I had no problem with the Yankees. I think it was the right move.
The harm is we could fall completely out of the pennant race, but somehow, and I'll throw it to you, Ace, somehow we've won 3 out of 4 games without Aaron Judge. Don't look now.
Hey, maybe you don't need Aaron Judge. Trade him.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh,
Hey,
we get enough of that. We get enough of that with the guy. Dex, I know you got to get out of here, but I do want to ask you one thing. We get enough of that with the guy I'm about to bring up. So what do you think about the possibility of Giancarlo Stanton playing some outfield while Judge DHing? Because that's something that has been brought up as well. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a little scary. But I don't think you want to do it. But if they had to, I'm not mad at it. I think if you're going to do it in those games, you probably want to be ready with a defensive replacement for him. We haven't seen it in quite some time. When's the last time we seen him in the outfield?
last season.
He did a little bit last season. He played a little last season, right?
Couple
Not
games.
that many.
Yeah. You're muted.
Did he play a couple games in the outfield last year?
I thought it was the year before that.
I thought it was the year of 2023 because I thought they brought it up on the.
I thought he didn't. I thought he didn't play last season, but I could be wrong. I'm a little scared about it. That could be an adventure. I don't need it. That's kind of like break glass in case of emergency, right, Ace? Maybe I would do it if I had to. I don't think the Yankees are. Excuse me. I don't think they're there yet. Yeah, I would use that only absolutely if I had to, because of everything that's gone on with him, and his mobility issues. I don't think you need to stress him anymore. You need to keep him as fresh as possible, and the best way to keep him fresh as possible is playing DH. So, for me personally, if I'm Aaron Boone, I am avoiding that unless in a situation where I absolutely have to. I don't think they're there yet. Yeah, you got to keep Stanton healthy. Just having him back in the lineup is huge, and we know what he can do in the postseason. You don't need him. You don't. You talk. Grace talks about how with Aaron Judge, you're on pins and needles and you're holding your breath for everything. He runs for a ball. He runs in the wall. You hope he doesn't hurt his toe again. Now we're worried about the elbow. With Stan, you got to keep that man in bubble wrap and a DH.
Yep.
That's what I
don't want him. I don't want him tying his shoes. Somebody better do that for him.
Yeah.
Every time, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
He sneezes, he may pull an oblique.
Yeah.
Brother, I appreciate you like always. Thank you for taking time to join us. I will be on later with you.
Yes.
Just let the people in the chat know where they can find you on all social media platforms before you get out of here, good sir.
You can find me on D Henry TV at all social media platforms. You can check out my work on the New York Post YouTube channel. Hector will be on with me. Hector, I'm gonna send you the exact time. But we're starting the live show at 5:30. So we're going up through the deadline and talking about it through. And so I don't know. When Hector comes on, he might be angry. He might be sad. You know what I'm saying? He might be elated. Something good might have happened. I have no idea. This is what makes it fun. Hector, I've never seen angry, so I don't know what that even looks like. But if he's upset because Cashman did nothing, I can understand that as well too. But yeah, the New York Post YouTube channel, hit the like button, subscribe button there to subscribe, turn your alerts on. Hector will be on there. So if you're a fan of Hector, please come because we'll be talking some Yankees as well too. I have fun, guys. Thank you again.
Yes.
Grace and Ace, I will see you guys soon. I'll get you guys on for some Yankee talk soon. Hopefully you guys are happier after this deadline. I'm hoping for that for you. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see y'all unhappy because see, look, Mets fans, we got a bad rap. You might think that I'm hating out here. I'm like, I don't want to see misery for my people. I don't want that. I never want that. You know what I mean? I want y'all to be happy, man. I want y'all to be happy, and I want a Subway World Series. That's all.
There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Dexter means it a lot just for you people watching. He's not saying it just because the Mets made some trades yesterday. He actually means what he says. That's why.
That's not my energy. I'm never like that. Like I think most people who know me know I'm not like that. My dad was a Yankees fan, so I used to always have fun going back and forth with him.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's nah. And I have a lot of good friends who are Yankees fans. So I have no disdain for the Yankees. I want to see them do well. I always want to see the Yankees do well, just as long as it's not against the Mets. That's it.
And I think that's why you and I were kindred spirits. We get along so well because your father was a Yankee fan. My mom being a Met fan. We grew up with that rivalry in the household, that love with our parents and stuff. So, that's why we get along so well, Dex.
Yeah, so it's never been a problem. I was in a divided house. My sister was a Yankees fan. My mom and I were Mets fans. So, I understand it. And like when the Yankees in the playoffs, I'm never like, man, I'm rooting for them to do badly. In fact, let me share this real quick. I don't think I told you about this, Hector. I went to I feel like I finally understood personally why the Yankees fans hate the Red Sox so much. Because
you at Fenway.
Yeah, so I went to Fenway, not my first time at Fenway, because I've done stuff there for work. But I went once as a fan. I went to watch the Mets play at the end of May. I was with my cousin, and we left. The Mets lose 2-0. The offense was terrible that night. We're walking out on Causeway Street, going to the train. Some some Red Sox fans behind me are just absolutely just, the Mets suck. We hate your colors, blah, blah, blah. And they're giving it to this lady who's behind me. And I'm like,
exactly.
why y'all being jerks? Why y'all being so mean? You won the game. They've done a lot of winning up there. Probably too much. I'm not sure they deserved all of that. They've done too much winning up there. And so I don't usually engage in this kind of stuff, but I couldn't help myself. So I turned around.
You're a classy man, Dexter.
I tried,
Grace.
I tried.
Classy, handsome.
Sometimes you got to let people know, Grace. Sometimes you got to let people know. And so if people remember, this is the end of May. The Knicks had just defeated the Celtics. So I turned around and said, how about those Celtics? They didn't like that too much. That's all I'm saying. They didn't like that too much out there. And I just didn't understand why they were so angry. And I just feel like the people up there were a little too angry. You know what I mean? They got their thing that happened in 2004. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. They did some winning after that. Why y'all so mad? You had the Patriots, seen the Celtics win some titles. And I said, you know what? I understand why a lot of these Yankee fans just can't stand the Red Sox fan. And there was a bunch of them. So
you know what, Dexter? You got a little bit of New York Yankees in you, I think. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm not gonna go that far, Grace. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna
We
go that
hate them
far.
like we hate them like you guys hate Philly. We look at them like they're just disgusting human beings. That's what it comes down to, man.
Hey, one of the joys in my life was a couple of years ago. This 22, 23. I went down to Philly. A couple of my boys from college are from Philly, and I was there for that epic Mets 6-run comeback in the 9th inning. Oh, there was nothing better than walking out of that stadium when that happened. That was great. So I understand. I just want to say I understand to the Yankee fans why you have so much disdain for the Red Sox. And I just feel like I know there's good Red Sox fans out there, but the display I saw walking down Causeway Street, that was not your finest, Boston, at all whatsoever. They can be better. You know what I'm saying? I've never had Yankee fans do that. I mean, the one bad experience I had with Yankee fans was I was in the building, unfortunately, when Luis Castillo dropped that pop-up. I was there for that.
Those are rare times, though.
Yankee fans gave it to me on the B train going home. But that's all part of the game. Nope, nothing over the top, nothing overly disrespectful. They were clowning, but that's sports, man. It is what it is. You can't be soft on that. That's cool. There's nothing overly the top disrespectful, so like that was cool. These Red Sox fans cursing at the ladies, doing too much.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
There's a line that we don't cross.
Yeah, you don't cross that line.
Last thing I want to tell you real quick, that Luis Castillo thing, I was working at Lombardi's Pizza when that happened. I was working on the phones, doing deliveries and stuff, taking orders and stuff like that. My mom called me in the 9th inning because that's when cell phones were in what they are right now. It was so long ago and stuff. She called me. She was like, "The Mets are winning, blah, blah, blah." I hung up the phone, copy. 30 seconds, she calls back. 30 seconds, she calls back, cursing me out, and hangs up the phone.
I have to say, I'm not really mad that your mom cursed you out because I absolutely understood. Imagine you're me and the balls popped up in the air and I was with a Yankee fan at that game. Friend of mine was a Yankee fan. Shout out to my guy Chris. I stand up. I'm like, yeah. 5 seconds later, I'm like, so I understood where your mom was coming. Hey, your mom still loves you, right?
She does.
You got cursed out for a little bit. She still loves you, so it was all good. But that was a painful loss, man. That was that's the opposite of what I felt in Philly. That's one of the worst losses I ever saw. So, yeah.
Not the mid fist pump freeze from Dexter. He goes, yeah.
Yeah, that was tough, man. That was tough. But like I said, the Yankee fans on the way out, they were giving it to Mets fans and laughing. But I didn't see anything that was like, that's part of the game. You got to take the wins with the losses like that. It's part of the game, man. So, we'll see. Yankee fans, no problem with me. I have no problem with the Yankee fan. Yeah.
And we have no problem with you, Dex. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. See you later on today.
Yes.
Like always, guys, make sure you guys follow Dexter. Jacob put his Twitter in the chat right there. I mean, Ace put his link of his Twitter in the chat. Dex,
appreciate that.
Later, bro.
Thank you, guys. Later. Be well.
That was our good friend, Mr. Dexter Henry Ace. I know you got like less than 30 minutes because you got to call the game. So I'm going to give it to you. Let's get your last take before we get you out of here so you can get ready to set up and call that game. And make sure you guys tune into the Ace Avenue. One of the great, if not the best, my favorite Yankees watch along on YouTube is my brother, the Ace Avenue. Shout out to my guy, Ace.
I appreciate that. I just want to see Yankees make some moves. And I'm going to go off on a different tangent. Today's one of the days that everybody's refreshing Twitter. Make sure you guys verify the sources, you know what I'm saying? Because there are going to be a lot of people out there trying to, make up stuff and tell a story. Just make sure you listen to the Jack Currys, the John Heymans, the Nightingales, all the Passons, all that stuff. And of course, Uptown Sports will get you covered as well. But we just got to, they got to make moves. It's as simple as that. Bullpen is up. Passon just reported. Tigers are finalizing a deal.
Yep.
Let me make sure it's the real one because that would be crazy if I just said watch out when you're
Jacob
following and then that happened. Yeah. Tigers are finalizing a deal to acquire closer Kyle Finnegan, who was a guy I wanted on the New York Yankees.
Yeah, same. That's a guy I had on my list. I had him. I had Andrew Schaefer on my list as well.
Yeah, it just seems like these guys are passing by, man, and we're just holding it. Well, breaking news.
The New York Yankees have acquired Luis Hill, Fernando Cruz, Mark Leiter,
World Series back on.
World Series is back on, y'all. World Series is back on. Ace, brother, appreciate you, man.
Take it easy, guys. Have a blessed one.
Of course,
Thanks,
of course.
Ace.
Kill it, Ace. That was our guy, our friend, my buddy, the Ace Avenue. I appreciate content creators that we build with, that we get along with. Shout out to Ace, somebody that I respect wholeheartedly as a content creator, as a human being as well. Him and I, we have very, very spirited conversations as well, text messages. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Let's run through real quick. Shout out to our guy, TC Stills, the captain of the Brian Cashman fan club is my brother, Mr. TC Stills. Hector is in the building. My guy, Jacob Petruzzi with the updates. Appreciate you, Jacob. Shout out to my guy, Jacob. Salute, salute, salute. Three capital S's. Sorry, just... the fucking fly. Shout out to Erica Garcia in the building. Erica, I hope all is well. Erica, talk me off the ledge because the Yankees and Brian Cashman's no está haciendo nada. Shout out to our good friend Erica Garcia, who I just made a mod as well. We're dropping mods out there so people can drop the links to their channel, drop the links for sources and everything like that. So shout out to our good friend Erica Garcia in the chat. Grace, where would you like to take the conversation before we wrap things up? If we had more time, I would have thrown the link to Erica or anything like that. Matter of fact, I'm just send it to her.
I'm just sitting here refreshing Twitter like everybody else. Hey, who's this Danny Colombe guy?
Yeah, I know the name.
Because I asked AI, who should we get? And they said Danny Colombe from the Baltimore Orioles is a pending free agent. Could be a cost-effective addition for the Yankees, who are reportedly exploring both high-impact and lower-cost relievers.
What?
If we're not giving away George Lombard Jr., which I don't think we are, and nobody wants Spencer Jones, then we're going to have to maybe get some Reynolds. I don't know. We got to get somebody. And let me ask you this. Well, no, let me not say it out loud, but y'all, we have to get some bullpen arms in the house today. The longer the game kept going last night, I'm like, oh my God, we don't have the bullpen for this, y'all. Weaver's probably not available tonight. Devin Williams sure as hell is not available tonight. Also, he looks completely exhausted, and I don't blame him. Tim Hill saved our bacon yet again last night, and who are we going to play tonight? Like, we still have 2 games with the Rays, or 1 game.
No, we got 1 game with the Rays, okay. And then the Yankees go on the road.
Okay, like we need arms now. Like, honestly, why haven't we heard anything? Y'all, I'm starting to spiral. Why haven't we heard anything yet?
No. John Heyman reported that the New York Yankees are in on Sandy. Like that's who they're aiming for right now. Sandy is who the Yankees are aiming for right now.
Okay, he's not a bullpen arm.
He's not a bullpen arm, but when one domino falls, hopefully others fall as well.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like a couple arms, one in Sandy Alcantara and...
It'll be Sandy and hopefully David Bednar from the Pittsburgh Pirates. If not David Bednar, Camilla DeVoe. But the Yankees, they need to add at minimum 2 bullpen arms. We need 2 bullpen arms. I'm sorry. You got to go out there. You cannot walk away from this trade deadline with the headline being we have Luis Hill, Fernando Cruz, Ryan Yarbrough coming back. And those are additions at the trade deadline. That cannot be the headline or the takeaway when 6 p.m. rolls around. Because if 6 p.m. comes and goes, and it's still the same team that we have right now, I may crash out.
Did Mitch Keller get dealt?
That I'm not sure. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Well, it goes back to my point earlier. You think we want reinforcements? Of course we do. But you know who really wants reinforcements? The team. And what is it going to communicate to the team if Brian Cashman doesn't free up the arms? They're going to be deflated. That's what I think. They're going to be deflated. They're going to be upset. They're holding on right now with scotch tape and a prayer. Like, they need help. Ryan McMahon's been a huge help. Now let's give credit where credit's due. Ryan McMahon has been a huge help. He had a walk-off sack fly, effectively a walk-off single. He had a game-tying RBI. He's hit. I mean, he has been very good. Okay. Did you see Ahmed Rosario as the vibes guy last night, out in front of the dugout, screaming, cheering, like being a vibes guy?
Yeah, love that.
The other guy we got yesterday from the White Sox, what's his name? Slater. Haven't seen anything. Austin Slater, to be determined. Okay, I don't know anything about him yet.
Well,
all that is great.
When you look at the additions, one, right, and this is something that they're very sneaky moves, and Brian Cashman is not getting credit. A lot of people don't want to give him credit, but I'm gonna give Cashman credit when it comes to this. Ahmed Rosario, defensively, is not gonna give you much. Defense, he doesn't have much on the defensive side. He may be a worse defender than Anthony Volpe at shortstop. That's why when he was traded to Cleveland, they moved him out to the outfield. That's why he became a corner outfielder, right? But when it comes to Ahmed Rosario, he is a guy who, for his career, mashes left-handed pitching. He's a guy for his career has been a solid pinch hitter as well. When you look at his career splits as a pinch hitter, I think his OPS is over 400 against left-handed pitching. That's what you need to have coming off the bench. So immediately, Ahmed Rosario strengthens the bench, right, and adds to it instead of having guys like, no shade to Yorbit Vivas. Yorbit Vivas, you haven't showed as much with the bat. So having a guy like Ahmed Rosario who can hit in a pinch hitting situation, that's good to have off the bench. Austin Slater as well. It's a guy that mashes left-handed pitching as well for his career, and also is a solid plus defender in the corner outfield spot. He can play right and he can play left. Those are solid additions you make for your team when you're trying to add on bench and depth pieces to make that long postseason run.
No doubt. The moves so far, I like all the moves so far. They've been great, but it's not what we needed. It's not what we wanted. And what I mean is not specific players, but it's not addressing our most, well, I don't know. Some people argued before that third base was our biggest area of need.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I was on the bullpen. The bullpen, in my opinion, was and is our biggest area of need. So it's like I wanted a Louis Vuitton bag. You gave me a Prada bag. The Prada bag is cool, but that's not what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, I need a new car. You got me a new boat. That's great, but I still need a car to get around. Like, hello?
Erica, how you doing, friend? I hope all is well. I miss you. I wish you knew Alex was going to be at Somerset. I would have loved for you to pop through and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I was bummed out when I saw that. I was like, damn, I should have passed by.
Yeah.
But, it's all right. Wait, hold on. You're making me want to get mine.
The layers are coming off.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take down a trip. I love the fact that you did that, and Erica's doing it as well, because we're gonna end today's show on a very nice ending, right? We're gonna take a trip down memory lane. I found a nice TikTok account. I got some
you, Grace.
videos. So hey, the jacket
For a little while.
Is it my
It
AC?
is like 100 degrees though.
I was
It's
about to
hot
say, my AC is not that strong. I'm not put on. I'll fucking pass out if I put on a jacket. I'll put on a coat or put on a jacket. But Erica, how you feeling, bro? Speak to us, sis. Let us know how you feeling.
I think that they're doing exactly what I expected them to do. I really didn't think they were going to go out and make the big move. I said it last time. I feel like, and Grace, I understand, but I feel like the season's a bit of a wash. They're kind of just hoping for the best with what they have. I think Cashman is going to try to bolster up for next season. See what he can get from Jones, because the Yankees are going to lose a lot of people this year too. So yeah, I can't see them going all in, and that's what it feels like. All these trades have been overpays, according to, there's like this Twitter page that has like the baseball values, and basically like 80% of them have been overpays.
The baseball value, I saw that also and stuff, and this is one thing I want to tell you, like, we may look at that and like, yeah, this is how you get trades done. Brian Cashman and people in the front office, they're not looking at that as a cheat sheet if they should trade players or not. This is what just the market is. And when you have bullpen arms, not that many because of Class A, you got to try to get the most that you can if you're a GM. You're holding the bag. Why are you going to give up something because something said the value is this, that, or third? It's what the other teams need in the moment. My fault, Eric. I'm sorry for the diatribe.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I think it's gonna. They'll make moves. They won't be sexy. It'll be like, what? Okay, maybe Matt Blake will help, fix this guy, and they'll be good. Because they just need reinforcements. This bullpen is just, it's depleted. Like it's it's so bad. And I know it looks silly to look at it as, oh, we're gonna be gaining back a lot of guys from the IL, but I mean, I don't know when we're supposed to be getting these guys back. If it is within the next 2 weeks, sure. I don't think that that's the case. I haven't looked at the IL report, but that is a lot of arms to be getting back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So
I
I'm
will
sure
say,
Yeah.
they said Mark Leiter Jr. will be available during the Texas series, which is next week.
Okay.
Oh
Fernando
yeah, it's
Cruz-
hot. It's hot. This
It's
is
too
about to come off next.
Fernando Cruz will be back for the Yankees next homestand because the Yankees leave after today. They go on the road. So by the next Yankees homestand, Fernando Cruz and Luis Hill and hopefully Ryan Yarbrough is back. But I'm in agreement with you, Erica. We have to, at least by 6 p.m., add at least one bullpen arm. I want the Yankees to get two. I know I'm asking for too much. I'm a greedy Puerto Rican. I'm hungry right now. It's fucking 12:48. I haven't eaten breakfast. All right, I'm hungry. I want Brian Cashman to get two arms, but if we could get at least one, I'm happy. Do you not like the additions of McMahon, who's gotten a hit in every game?
Yo.
Sario and Slater.
I don't know what to say about Slater, but I know that we needed right-handed bats off the bench. He's been the best pinch hitter in the league for the last couple years against lefties. So whatever, play the analytical game as long as he's not starting. You know what I mean? It's kind of like IKF. Like if he was coming off the bench all the time, I'd been like, yo, IKF's the man. But we had him starting so often that it was like we almost did damage to his name. But I'm loving McMahon. The life that has been brought back to him, being in pinstripes, playing for games that matter, being in front of a almost sold out crowd probably every night. That does something to a player. It has to. It's probably everything that you envisioned before you even get to the league. And now you're just in the middle of a race. You go from one of the worst teams to going into the middle of a pennant race or whatever. And yeah, like you saw it. He was celebrating. He was telling the crowd to pump up. Like that was just his moment. It was really cool to see. I saw a lot of people like going like ha to us when Suarez got traded to Mariners. I'm like, dude, we've been past this. Like once we got McMahon, Suarez was out of the picture. I don't know why you guys are bringing this up, but I like what I'm seeing defensively. He had that error yesterday. I'm gonna blame it on the wet ball because it started to rain. Or maybe an initiation because I feel like every Yankee player has to have an error at some point this season. So yeah, I love what I'm seeing from McMahon. Ahmad Rosario was pumped off the bench too. Like I mean, it was a really quick clip of him like yelling, but. I mean, I like seeing that. These guys are playing for something, and maybe that motivates the rest of the team not to be so complacent and be like, "Yo, you could have been in Colorado. Like this is bad over there." So
they did say that Heel is expected to start on Sunday against Miami. All right, and then Mark Leiter Jr. is supposed to be available starting Monday, so he's making the trip with the team to Texas. Shout out, your girl will be in the house. And if they trade Jason Dominguez before I get the chance to see him, it's fine. So we got Heel coming back. We got Mark Leiter Jr. coming back both next week. And then the week after that, according to Hector, Fernando Cruz. So that's fine. Copy. All that's great. We need all that, and we still need more, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to see Ian Hamilton pitch anymore. I don't know some of these arms that are coming out. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I have to wait until his name pops up on the little like the score. I'm like, who is this? But yeah, I think they'll get reinforcements. I just think it's not going to be sexy. People are going to complain because it's two no names. But as long as we're getting reinforcements and taking the load off of, like you said, Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Tim Hill, then I think that'll help in the meantime.
Hear me out. Heel's coming back on Sunday. And I know Java rules, blah, 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 blah. I'm not talking about Java Chamberlain. I'm talking about this year, in the year of our Lord 2025, to do what we have to do to get Giancarlo Stanton a ring. This year, Cam Schlittler to the bullpen. Y'all, you can say whatever you want about, I'm worried about his injury, blah, blah, blah. But his stuff in the bullpen, it might happen. This might happen.
It's not me. It's the Yankees trying to build him up as a young pitcher to get to 150 innings and telling him at the end of the season, stop. We're going to have you go out there and use you as a reliever every other day or every back-to-back 2 days in a row, maybe 2 days every 3 days. I'm not sure if the Yankees want to do that, especially now. Major League Baseball teams aren't doing that because they're trying to protect their young pitchers to a degree. Maybe.
I think the emphasis in Major League Baseball overall is moving to the bullpen. I think having a young, velo-throwing bullpen arm that can play 3-4 innings is where the future of baseball is headed. They aren't growing starters anymore that pitch 8 innings, 7 innings. Getting to the 6th inning is like newsworthy anymore. So I think, I don't know, I'm just saying I could see them doing, if they don't get any bullpen arms today, which I still believe, but if they don't, I could see them moving Schlittler into the pen. For real, just for this year, build him back up in the offseason, whatever. I mean, it could happen.
I would like to see, a high velocity guy in our bullpen rather than these sinker throwers. Is there still like high heat guys available for the trade deadline?
Camilo Doval, David Bednar. Those are 2 guys that I want the Yankees to trade for. Like those are the 2 guys that I have on my radar.
So I mean, if we don't land one of those, then I can see either Schlittler or. I mean, we thought Luis Gil was going to go to the bullpen last year, and he didn't. So, I don't know. I just would like to have a high velocity guy, like somebody that can throw hard rather than the constant sinker ball slider guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to overpower the other team. Just go up there and be like, "This is my best stuff. Try to hit it." And we don't have anybody like that in our bullpen. Nope.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, y'all. What are we willing to do to get that ring? I mean, for real.
I really don't know. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in Cashman's office because I really don't know what they're thinking. It just doesn't feel I don't feel like they're all in on this team though. There's just too many holes. But they did a good job at with the McMahon situation. But with Aaron Judge's injury, like there's just so much unknown. This bullpen is like full of holes. So I don't know. It just doesn't.
I think Cashman refuses to overpay just in general. That's the way he's been his entire career. The only reason we got Juan Soto, which has been reported, we all know this, is because Hal called Brian and said, bro, put Michael King in the trade, make it happen. Because Brian Cashman was not going to put Michael King in that trade. He was going to walk away. Hal pushed that deal across the line. That's the only reason we got Juan Soto. Last year, with Judge having what was up until this point of his career, his best season ever offensively, with Juan Soto on the team, they still did not overpay at the trade deadline in order to get us a starter like Flaherty or Crochet, Cease, any of those guys that got moved at the deadline last year. Brian Cashman didn't overpay for any of them, even with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. So what I'm saying is I don't think it necessarily means that he doesn't believe in this team, because even when we have Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth at the top of our lineup, he still refuses to overpay.
Did you guys see Ryan McMahon's stats in his first week as a Yankee?
Show me. I need to pick me up.
I got this right now, and then I got 2 more things to show before we get out of here. Where's it at? He has a 353 batting average, 476 on base percentage, 471 slug, 173 WRC plus, and he walked it off against the Rays. That is impact in your first week.
476 on base percentage is wild.
For your first week, that definitely is. And like I said, I wanted to take a trip down memory lane, right, to a time when the Yankees were good. Shout out to my guy Big Ant with the $5 super chat. People who think Jason can't get better need that head check. Jeter committed 24 errors in 2000.
Oh my God!
J-Dom is 22 years old and getting better. He needs reps. One thing I wanted to bring up, that play that he made at the end of the game, late in the game, I don't think he makes that at the beginning of the season. What do you guys
Say
think?
that again.
I don't think Jason Dominguez makes that play that he made at the end of the game at the beginning of the season or in spring training.
He is improving before our eyes.
Yeah.
100%, Hector. That is a great point.
That's a game-saving play, because they would have scored. They would have cleared the bases, most likely.
Y'all, I'm not just whistling Dixie. Jason Dominguez has 5 years left of control. He's a switch hitter with a high on-base percentage, with the ability to improve in the corner outfield, the best base runner on the team, the fastest athlete on the team, the young vibe aura farmer, Jason Dominguez. Y'all, please don't trade him today. For real, for real.
Yeah, I don't want them to trade him.
Oh my God, I don't want them to trade him either. Trust me. That's the last thing I want the Yankees to do is trade Jason Dominguez. But I understand you have to give something to get something. And again, when you look at the package that the Phillies gave up for Class A, they gave up the 56th best ranked prospect and the 92nd best ranked prospect in baseball. Maybe the asking price is a little bit cheaper when it comes to David Bednar, because I don't think I said Class A. I meant to say Duran. I don't think Duran and Bednar, would you put them on the same level? Bednar has years of control left. He's still on the contract. Duran's still on the contract till 2028. So that's going to cost you top prospects. I don't think David Bednar will cost you as much as Johan Duran, because David Bednar is a free agent in a year.
Dominguez is a free agent in 2031. Dead ass.
All right, I want to play this real quick. This is a trip down memory lane before we get out of here. Do you guys remember the 2000 World Series? Shout out to Base of Ball on TikTok. They put a lot of vintage throwback videos. So we're going to play this video before we get out of here.
A 2-out walk. And the top of the ninth.
Scott Brocious. I was going to say Scott Brocious. Ryan McMahon.
Into left field, a base hit.
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps.
2 on with 2 out.
And I think Al Leiter had over 100 pitches at this point. I think he was at like 110 or something like that. Oh, what just happened?
What happened?
Al Leiter, by the way.
Homer and a double.
Sorry.
Of the night. With Franco in the bullpen, the Mets stick with Leiter.
Erico's invested. Like, what the fuck you do? Sorry.
Just makes me happy.
Up the middle.
They would have played the shift on that play now.
Oh my God.
The shift would have definitely been there.
Into the dugout. Brocious will score.
Listen to that crowd.
Lead 4-2.
I remember watching this with my family, who are entire Met fans, and I'm the only Yankee fan, and I was fucking cheering for joy. But that's the end of that one. But that's
then Mo came in and shut the door.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, wait. What is this real quick? This is when baseball was baseball. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like that old person, right? But this is when baseball was baseball, in my opinion.
The New York Yankees in a place simply known as the stadium.
So much nostalgia.
They lost this game, though. They lost game 1 of the New York Series.
The Yankees, no.
Yeah.
They won 1-2. They lost game 3 and they won. I mean, they lost game 3 and they won game 4 and 5.
Okay. I thought the Mets won game 1.
No, they almost did. That was when that ball, I think it was Timo Perez, he hit it off of the top of the wall and it bounced back in, and then they tagged him out. Yeah, that was like a whole situation.
Yeah.
What are the Dodgers doing?
They're trying to get Stephen Kwan.
I haven't heard hide nor hair about the Dodgers this whole time.
That's what I saw, was they were in on Stephen Kwan, and they're in on the Alcantara talks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let me know if you guys can hear this. Because again, Joe Torre.
Can't hear it.
You saying Aaron Boone is a terrible disgrace of a manager? That's what I've heard.
Oh my God, you
guys
made me snort on YouTube.
Not the snort. All right. The Yankees are playing right now. The game started. Yeah, the game starts at 1:05. So we got 3 minutes to get out of here. Grace, last take, and then I'll toss it over to our bestie, Erica, for her last take as well.
Cashman, do something, please. To quote Joe's McFly, doing nothing is crazy. No, I know he's done stuff already. Okay, but we need some arms so bad, so bad. You've got to do it, if nothing else, but for the vibes of the team. To let the guys know that you're not hanging them out to dry. You have got to get us some arms. It doesn't even have to be the best arms. Like, I'm just being real with you, Brian, right now. You and me, Brian, nobody else. It doesn't even have to be a star. It just has to be some arms. You have to get us some arms, please. And thank you. Go Yankees. And P.S. If you don't, I'm still going to cheer for the Yankees, and I still believe in this team.
Same.
Yeah, I think it would be a mistake to not try to get at least 2 bullpen arms for these next stretch of games at least. We should go 10-0 on this stretch of games. The fact that we lost the first game against the Rays was infuriating because then you play the Marlins and then you play the Rangers. You should win, and I know baseball is hard and I know sweeps are hard, but you should, with your team, should be able to win those games, all of them, really. So if you can get bullpen arms just for the stretch of games, and then you load back up with all the guys from the IL for the series against the Astros, and you have like I think the Twins or whatever. But like this month is not a hard month of baseball, so those 2 arms could make the biggest difference of just taking off a lot of the stress from all our other pitchers that have been overworked, and for our starting pitchers that think they have to pitch like they got to go 6 or 7 innings, you know. Marcus, yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's all I'm hoping is that they at least do that, because you should win out these next 2 series.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a disaster if they didn't. You're within reach. You're 4 games out from the Blue Jays, and yeah, I just feel like that would really help. So I don't think that Cashman's gonna sit on his hands. I just think it's not gonna be a sexy move. But really, like Grace said, anything helps, because I can't watch Tim Hill throw his arm off, like it's going to fall off.
Yeah,
going out there.
Even arms that you intend to DFA in 2 weeks would be better than nothing at this point, for the health and longevity of the guys we have now. They can't keep going like this.
I am 100% on board with both of you guys when it comes to this trade deadline. Please, I just want 1. I would like 2. And like Erica said, when it comes to the schedule, the Yankees have one of the easiest schedules in Major League Baseball for the rest of the season. This is the easiest schedule. Look at how we end the season. We end the season with 3 series against teams that are far below 500, one of them being the Baltimore Orioles. So like Erica said, we understand baseball is hard. Every team is not, teams that are under 500 aren't just going to make it easy for you. There are a lot of teams that like to play spoiler, and they play better going up against teams that need to win more than they have to, right? We understand that. But you got to improve this team. I know we have reinforcements coming back. Do not let the reinforcements blind your decision makings at the 6 p.m. trade deadline. Go out there, make the moves you have to make, improve this team, so that way when we come back on Tuesday, Erica's not crashing out.
We can agree if Cashman doesn't make any moves, he's not all in, right? Like that's his mind is on next season. If he doesn't make any,
he got like a pinky toe in.
No, I'm saying he never overpays. It doesn't matter if he's all in or not. That's not an indicator of him being all in.
If he doesn't make any moves, Grace, like not even for bottom of the barrel bullpen guys, you don't think that he's not all in?
Maybe that Howell isn't all. What I'm saying is, last year, what I'm saying is earlier, if there was a team that you would have been all in on, it would have been last year. Our rotation was healthy. We had Juan Soto only for 1 year. But yet he still didn't make these trades where he overpaid. So what I'm saying is, just because he doesn't overpay doesn't mean he's not all in, because he was all in last year and he still didn't overpay. Do you see what I'm saying?
And Cashman was trying to get Suarez back in June. And the Diamondbacks, they were asking for the most, right? It got to the point the Diamondbacks were asking after the Yankees pivoted to Ryan McMahon, right? The Brewers were the favorite to land him, and they kept asking for that starting pitcher Wisniewski or however you pronounce his name, their top pitching prospect. If I'm the Brewers, I'm hanging up the phone. I'm not giving you my top pitching prospect for a rental that's 34, who's going to be 35 next year, who wants a 5-year contract, $25 million a season, going into age 40. I don't think the Brewers are doing that. Seattle, they can live with his suspect defense because they have great pitching and they have great defense at shortstop, at second, and at first. The Yankees, if Anthony Volpe is making Yankee fans crash out with his defense on the left-hand side, Eugenio Suarez will add on to that horrible defense on the left-hand side. Ryan McMahon's first game, look at that amazing web gem he made at third base. We were all like, wow, that's why you trade for a third baseman. That's what we've been missing. We was missing that third base. It's easy to just go on the internet. I'm not saying you, Eric. I'm just saying, I'm just saying the collective we. It's easy for all of us, for we, to go on the internet and just turn on the camera and scream at Brian Cashman, right? I don't blame Cashman. I can't stand the Diamondbacks for trying to fleece the Yankees. I can't stand the other teams for trying to add that Yankee tax. And immediately after the trade was done with Ryan McMahon, it was reported that the Diamondbacks were upset because they couldn't use the Yankees as leverage in trade negotiation. I'm sorry, if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm not trying to fucking be your leverage so you could benefit your organization. That's personally me. I know other people don't see it like that. Shout out to my guy, Double A, who says, sorry, guys, Cashman is out to lunch. Shout out to Double A. The fittest 60-year-old that I know in my life is my guy, Double A. Sorry about the rant.
No, this is your show, man. Do what you want. Rant is
This is our conversations. But no.
I do want to just say that Anthony Volpe has 16 home runs and 16 errors.
Crazy.
I think that every time he makes an error, he just got to hit a home run to offset it. But that means he also has more home runs than Harper. He also has more home runs than Guerrero Jr. He also has more home runs than Osuna. It's so crazy. Just a weird season. Baseball's so weird.
He has, including his home run from last night, he has 4 home runs in his last 7 games.
The same amount of errors. It's just, I don't know. Maybe this is how the world works. But the fact that he has more home runs than Harper is crazy.
That's baseball, Susan, as they say. Oh, man.
Okay, I just see on Twitter the Marlins and Yankees have had dialogue about either Sandy Alcantara or Edward Cabrera going to the Bronx. They have discussed the potential of sending Spencer Jones to Miami in a possible deal. That's the only name. I just refreshed to see if there was anything else. That's the only thing that I see.
Hey, Grace, what were the names that I texted you last night?
Cabrera and Alcantara.
Okay, all right. I just want to confirm, because a blue check mark put that out, right?
Yeah, but I am a lot more amenable to sending Spencer Jones than Jason Dominguez. So now I'm happier.
Guys, we're going to get out of here because the Yankees are playing. I do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Erica as well, appreciate you. Shout out to our good friend Dexter Henry, who joined in on the conversation. Our good friend Dexter. I will be on with him later on. He just texted me at 5:45. Be on the lookout for our post-MLB trade deadline discussion. Shout out to my guy Dexter for always giving us content creator a platform and uplifting our voices like myself, Grace. Shout out to my guy Ace Ave. He is on right now. Make sure you guys tune in to Ace Avenue. Shout out to my guy M7 who was in the building. Old Sarge was here. Old Sarge, sorry I didn't salute you earlier. Double A, appreciate you. Big time Jerry Cadill. 80 Snaps was in the building. Appreciate all the super chats that we got as well. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Thank you guys for helping us keep the lights on over here at Uptown Sports TV. My guy Big Ant with the $5 and then Jerry with the other $10 ones. Hold on, I want to find them. Oh, they disappeared. But anywho, guys, we will be back on the next show. Until next time, I'm your guy, Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
I'm Erica.
And this is the Yankees
Morning Brew. Goodbye, Spencer Jones.
Arriba the Dirt J.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Radio.